Hello! Hello everyone, and welcome back to the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So yesterday we started the... wait, was it yesterday? Oh yes, it was yesterday. We started the trial of Mr. Natsume. And well, we managed to not immediately get a guilty verdict, so that's good. But we have to work a bit more to get him acquitted. Okay. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Wait, who is this guy? He's the witness? Constable Rory Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir. Sir? Wait. He doesn't seem very alert, this guy. Oh, and I'm Miss Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife. Rowdy Beats. Okay. What's the story here? Oh well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day. Oh, 1 year is nothing to sneeze at. No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Really? I'm pretty sure it's not. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Oh, indeed. Apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that metals are reading true. Wait, what? And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights. Really? There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. Oh, I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crime on his beat. For the London Bobby, he's a man of honor. Well, this is very much, I don't know about honor, but sleepiness. And a man of slumber. Oh yeah. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction. And they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat? Oh, that's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly? Constable Rolly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. What a great witness is going to be. Very good. I'd like to hear from you your formal testimonies now, please. You would tell us the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Oh, yes, sir. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. Oh, It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely a Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day. Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If that testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you establish in the submission examination will be squashed. It's death knell, in fact. Wait, how does he... Because that alternative was never viable in the first place. Oh, what an unfortunate chancing. And on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. Thanks the Lord for that. Oh, gosh, the life of a London bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking. Oh, enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Oh dear. What the witness saw. It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Hold it! No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat? Oh no, sadly not. It's a job of strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you? Oh, I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground. It suits you down the ground. Doesn't it, darling? Does he even know who she is? What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? Oh, this is creepy. Oh no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adjust to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct? Oh, that's right, sir. Yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? Metropolitan Police warrant card. What? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principle of the forces
of the Force written on it as a reminder to all of policemen of our sworn duty. Duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beach puts up with a lot of being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
I feel a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Oh, anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Hold it!
Two silhouettes? Oh, that's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print. And like Mr. Natsume. Oh, that does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print. And like Natsume-san. Oh yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see? There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh yeah, that's right, of course. There was a light fog on the ground.
But Briar Road is dead straight, and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see other pedestrians.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day, every day keeping watch of the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened. Oh, it's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run. Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly. Oh, thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off.
Hold it!
Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then, when we got closer, we realized what it was. Oh, didn't we, darling?
It's a bit annoying that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, it was some old books.
I see all books.
Oh, yes, sir. The culprits had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
Oh, that rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed. Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The moustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snubbed nose, everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
Oh, that's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. It seems as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Well, mostly his wife, though. Now, please continue.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, we ran straight over to, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. Hold it! Was it your husband who went to fetch help? Oh, no, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty by that point. But a puppy's never truly off duty. Of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
Well, that's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who dealt with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. Oh, I ran there as quickly as I could, and I asked for help from the bobby on duty. There is nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please. You're making us blush, isn't it, darling? Oh, yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir.
Oh, let's move on, shall we?
Oh, it was definitely the Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him clear as day.
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight. I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yeah, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Oh, yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes your eye very sharp, you know? You see? That's why we can't tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Yeah. Oh, it was GQ's and no mistake.
The moustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose, unmistakable, sir.
Well, they're saying the exact same thing. That's weird. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. Sasaki-san is running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's the entire testimony? What do you think, Miss Naruto-san? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beats saw what they say they saw. Oh, Natsume-san running away from the scene on Bar Road that day. Oh, yes, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us? Oh, the members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict that says his testimony. Oh no! Then what do we do? Oh, if Kazuma-sama were here. What are you trying to say? I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within this testimony. What do you mean, somewhere else? On that statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of the testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt that the pair's memory of the day is accurate. Alright! Good idea. Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right, is it? Well, out with it. What? No, it's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, I remember, and I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one. I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is? That will be... No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fists down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Miss Beach. Might that appease you? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene. Oh dear, that's it. That's it, madam.
You did it.
Objection!
So, you're saying that there were 4 books? Oh, that's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Mr. Somebody, what's it yearning, a meal for someone, and the thingammy something. Wait, what's the list we have? Picture of Mr. Lecoq, a meal for Gaboyo, Canterbury yearnings, and she's adding a 4th one. Thingammy something, okay. I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no, what? What flaw? Simply that at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books. But no, that can't be. I saw them. Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me. Sorry, what? It's that big old lump of a dead body. The lady is so large, her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book. That's all. Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No. Sorry, Mrs. Beat. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 book you describe. Why not? Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume. Evidence.
Counsel, you would present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books?
I have this.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt.
From your books.
Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchase that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No!
Therefore, Mr. Natsume would only have dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was a defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no, 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 no. No!
Wait,
Objection!
they're poor? It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. Huh. So you've striven to divert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast to the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Oh,
You see, The matter is not up for debate. At the scene of Unbar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection.
What? But what about the photographic print? It shows 3 books. Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? What you mean to say? Allow me to present another one. Another one that shows the victim's hand. The Lion's Pride. Wait a second. It's burnt. I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No, no! Order! Oh, there, you see, look at that, look! Oh, yes. Oh, it's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Oh, yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the title once again, if you please. Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Mr. Somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. What's it, yearnings? Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Caboyo, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's power of recollection can only be described as exceptional. Oh, did you hear that, Rowley? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Oh, yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless. But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beats mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? Oh, I wonder what became of that 4th book. Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Counsel.
My pleasure, my lord. The second crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. The 4th book has been entered into the court record. Cut tight. The prosecution rests. Oh, we have to look at that. All of that. The Lion's Pride. I've seen that somewhere. The Lion's Pride. It's burnt. Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt. You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially in other later pages. Oh, what a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edge of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? The fourth book information has been updated in the court records. Is there anything else? Probably nothing else. Lion's Pride. Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride. Well, I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. And very recently too. Oh, it's a title I recognize too. Naruhodo-san. This book belongs to Mr. Garudab. I don't think we can open the book, can we? No. Okay. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's power of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right through this, didn't I? Oh, you see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, my darling? Oh, yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. Are they already married? So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions? Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Fuck you, man. Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course. Naruhodo-san, I'm afraid we are in a terrible precarious position. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, could very well just make matters worse. Think, Rinsuke, think. What do you know? What do you do now? What can we do? What can we do? I'm gonna save. That's what I'm gonna do. I have to object, don't I? But I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't know. If I raise an objection, they're going to ask for some evidence, but I don't have any. Oh, I'll just wait and see. I should just keep quiet now and see what happens.
Well, it appears the defense has no objection at this juncture, in which case...
Oh, Naruto-san, was I not clear? The case for the defense is in great danger. Yes, I realized that, which is why I decided to let the sweat drip from my trembling brow in silence. Huh? You're so right, sorry. If I don't say anything now, it'll all be over. And it won't end well for us. I can't let that happen.
No, wait! The defense?
Objection!
The defense will have to wait. Because that sapless hesitation cannot go unpunished. No, wait. I have to, because otherwise I'm gonna lose.
Objection!
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense. And you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say. Oh, Sato-san, help me. If I may, Lord Van Seeks? It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential to her position, invaluable, and her opinions invaluable. Naruto-san. One of this land's great guiding principle is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam. Oh, go ahead, Sato-san. Please. Very well. Pray, that's insight. What insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Naruto-san, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the member of the jury to announce the leaning in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Oh yes, I understand, and thank you. Sato-san. This is it. Sato-san.
son has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense will present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and had hitherto been overlooked.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It's gonna be the book. It has to be the book. Yeah, I don't care about that. That's not what I wanted. A book damaged by fire very recently. Why does that seem significant somehow? I don't know. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book, found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel. I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. It's, Oh, Naruto-san. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track. Yeah, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which this fourth book conceals?
It's on its back, of course.
Got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you... Oh, good gracious! It's been burned to a crisp.
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Oh.
Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray do enlighten us all. What truth does this chart book hide? A chart book? There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, really. Certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered?
It's sauna. My lord, the burn at the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense had very credible answers.
Oh, good gracious, how could you possibly?
Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
Oh, let's save, because there is one choice here. Do we present... I think we need to present her, because he... it's him, though. It's him. Okay, I'm gonna present him.
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who owned the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb. I think both answers were valid then.
The landlords?
And whether this is an extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know. But of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garrideb herself.
Oh my goodness me!
I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrideb's wife. I'm his maid. Oh, things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garrideb's house?
Oh, I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house.
Oh, good Lord, what sort of incidents, counsel?
A fire, my lord.
Oh, I'm afraid to say it was happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a body thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The body furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Bride.
The Lion's Bride?
By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate.
Oh dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burned to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Gaideb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Gaideb even amid the flames. Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to this one you love. Can you, Rowley? Oh, absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
Oh, I had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I back up against the window and a heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen. The man had his back up against the window and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there is no report of the Gaideb's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Gaideb's household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time? Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and this chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
Does the defense postulate this scenario is also innocuous, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Gaideb's wife?
I believe it's a possibility, my lord. Wait, they're wearing the same scarf? I didn't realize. Wait, what? Well, I hope that everyone can see for what you are now, you little fine trickster. What? You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Wait, really? Claiming that our little thief set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it, and all you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you that was never my intention. And dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
It's right.
Oh, here we go.
How long have you sat here now, listening to this Nipponese spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the moustache, and he ran away from the scene too.
Oh, I do declare you're right. Oh, it's true. Oh, yes. What did I tell you?
Oh, it makes sense to me.
Oh, sorry. What's that?
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position on Van Zieks?
In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait. The mystery of the Force book still hasn't been... Wait, what? If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What? What? No forgives a discourtesy this time?
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
Oh no!
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Are we gonna have a summation examination again?
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
Oh, that's twice now. It's over. Oh, Naruto-san, don't give up. What? Sato-san, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting? Of course, the defense has a right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. Oh, my lord. The defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have some tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. To be continued? Oh, what? No! You know what? I'm quite tired, so I think I'm gonna stop here tonight. Oh, dear. Damn it. God damn it. It's so hard. So hard. Why are they all so worked up against this dude? Natsume. Oh dear. Alright. I'm not sure if I... well, I don't know. I might continue tomorrow night. I'm not completely sure about that. But if not, then it's probably going to be Sunday. Alright. Anyway, thanks for being here with me. And as always, please take care, stay safe. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.